this is a farm in Västerås. It's about straight west from Stockholm. It's a farm that is organic, and those new sheds you see on the picture, they were built in 2015. And I think we came into the picture a year after that in 2016 when they wanted to buy a new mixer wagon. And they also had a manager on the farm that was put in place to kind of look after the new buildings and the whole building process, and also putting in the routines after it was built to run the new place. So when he actually left the farm pretty much at the same time as we sold the machine, and I came in there as a nutritionist because they wanted to to look through the production a bit and to improve some things, and that it was a clear goal also to increase the milk yield. Okay, so the farm is owned actually by the community of Västerås, so it's leased by the farmer, and that's Frida and Adam Skure. And as I said, they built new facilities in 2015, and it now holds about 300 cows, plus dry cows, and also young stock. It's a parallel milking parlor, Delaval, and they milk 3 times a day. And the milk yield is about 13,500 kilo energy corrected milk. And the fat and the protein you see there also. And if you don't see it, I can read it for you. 4.4% protein, fat, and 3.6% protein. Calving interval is 12.4 months. First calve at 23 months, and the replacement is 27%. One thing that is also a bit special with this farm is that it's mainly managed by employees. So the owners are mostly working with the cropping side of the farm, and they also have pigs also. So it's mainly employees who are managing the milking production. So they have different responsibilities on the farm. One is with the feeding, Ingemar Jansson, and Magdalena has the biggest responsibility for the cows. So this is just a picture of how we can follow up things through our system, which works through Kinan system and which Alltech owns now. This is just a picture on how the production has evolved from October 2016, where we started. So you see the top line there is the energy corrected milk, and underneath is the liters, and you also see the dry matter intake. So it's just to see how we can follow up and combine and see how the dry matter intake is actually pushing the production forward. And this is the same picture, just a bigger picture. So if you look at the picture on the right hand side here, this picture is actually taken in pretty early, I think. I can see a lot of red cows. If you look at the picture to the left, I think it's a picture from today in the calving pen. Not many red cows left there now. I don't have anything to do with that. It's just what happens on some farms. But if you look at the picture on the right side, you can see on the right hand side of the feeding table is where the fresh cows will end up. So it's mainly actually heifers and second calvers in that group. and then they move on as older they get. They move on to the far groups, and the first group on the left side is dry cows, and this picture is taken early, so I think it looks a little bit different now with cows, and there's also a bit of a wall or a trough put up to make the dry cow mix stay in front of the cows.
Jag frågar där ändå en fråga.
Ja.
Om ketoserna där, mäter de alla och mäter de BHB-blodet? Där hur gör de?
No, it's no. I don't think they measure ketosis. This is I might actually. I'm not sure I translated that right actually when I think of it now. But that's clinical ketosis, that one. So that's pretty much when they don't eat at all. So they don't measure on a daily basis the ketosis in the blood. They have BHB in the milking control. I think you have in Finland also in the My Farm program, or?
Yeah, it's maybe just the fat and protein.
Okay. Yeah.
But what do you say about that? Just the ketosis. What is it telling about the dry cow feed? How important you follow it?
Yeah, it is important because there's. Oh, sorry. It shouldn't be much of it in there. It's probably something with the feeding or something with the management. That I think the impact on ketosis is, yeah, feeding is a big part, of course, but also the management can be really big issues also. But it depends on when you see it and how you see it and what's been the situation around it. The dry cows, they are in the group to the left, down in the left side corner, and when they are 3 weeks pre-calving, they go into the group that on the left photo. There you have two straw packs. The heifers and second calvers, I think a few second calvers also end up there. And then the older cows are to the right. And they are there for 3 weeks, eating the same dry cow mix as they are outside in the big shed. And the picture is taken from the feed alley. And behind the cameraman, there are some single pens, single calving pens. So they either calve out on these straw packs, or if the people are nearby when the calving occurs, they maybe move them into the single pens. And they will still stay in the single pen for at least 24 hours, because that's also the rules, organic rules, that the cow should stay with the calf for 24 hours. Then they get some parts of the milker's ration and some dry cow mix, but mostly they get hay, I think, hay and milker's TMR. So you can see there are a few milk fevers on the farm, 4% about. So that's a number that I think could improve a bit more. Otherwise, I am quite happy with the numbers. The weaning weight is on the calves there is at 12 weeks. Also organic rules. Not the weight, but the 12-week.
I was just thinking, Erik, due to the fact that it's an organic farm, I guess the dry cows are out on pasture over the summer.
Yeah.
Do you know how they manage that?
Yes, they go for a month. They go on pasture. For 3 or 4 weeks, they go out on regular pasture. And the last 4 weeks, they go on a paddock or just a small field just next to the farm, next to the barns, and they have a trough there where they can a feed alley and a scraper alley where they can feed a dry cow mix for the last 4 weeks. And that's it's not much grass there, so they keep the grazing really low in that last 4 weeks so that we can control the energy intake. One thing they try to do, doesn't succeed all the time maybe, but they try to actually understock some of the groups. You can see it's a 3-row barn, so this group with the first calvers and second calvers, they tried to understock, I think, at about 90%. And also the heifer groups are quite low stocking rate. The calving pen usually is a really good stocking rate also, but we see sometimes when you get a few more cows in there, it starts to occur a little bit more problems. So the managing part of this is also very important. This is just one paper that I think is quite simple and but very useful, both for the management and also it's nice to see for a guy like me coming onto the farm as well and see how it goes. So they just write up the cow number to the left, and if she is supposed to have calcium boluses, they write down the time when they got the calcium bolus. They get 3 if they are having the third calf or more. And they make sure that they drink water and they eat, and if they don't, they write that down. Also the colostrum levels are there that they give the calf in the first meal, and the amount of milk is the next one. So that's the amount of colostrum that they give the cows. Oh, sorry, the cows gave to us, not the other way around. And if there's something else, if there's a retained placenta or something, or anything else that is noteworthy, they put into the right column.
What is your goal there on the amount of the colostrum with your dry cow ration? Should it be?
It should be around, I think, Lennart can help me there. It's better because you have your own cows, but I think it shouldn't be too less and it shouldn't be too much. Is it too much, then we're slightly overfeeding energy, I think. And if it's less, we're underfeeding. So I think if we can have milk for the calf and then be able to freeze that amount also, that's good. So if it's 7-8 liters maybe in average, I think that's good. Do you have anything to add there, Lennart?
No, I would agree. It feels like it's challenging because sometimes heifers or even cows, depending on the system, get very stressed when we're taking them to the milking. So we need to be careful there so we really get the milk out of them. But sure, somewhere 5 to 10 liters on the older cows at least. Yeah, and this is something we always need to. That's why this kind of sheet is really good for us, because it's a really early signal on the feed, on the ration, if we are on spot or not. So it's very good if you can do something like this. It helps a lot.
Yeah, and it's boring to do this, especially when things are running good. But it's when you start running into problems that a sheet like this is so useful, because then we can see when things started to go wrong and what things started to go wrong, and then we can pretty soon get them right again because we can really follow what's happening. This is the dry cow ration that we are feeding here now. It's 1.5 kilos of dry matter of the cow ration, and that's pretty much what is refusals from the cows. And you have 5 kilos of straw, 3.5 kilos of beans. So that's what do you call them? Baba beans. Dry cow mineral, 200 grams, a bit water to balance the dry matter. The dry matter of this mix is 49%. It's a bit of a forecut in there extra and a bit of whole crop. The whole crop also works excellent for to balance in both the minerals and the fiber. So this is 9.454 megajoules metabolizable energy and 49% dry matter and 14.5% crude protein. NDF is 452, so 45% fiber, and the starch is almost 15%. That is a bit due to the beans we put in there to get the protein up. Beans is actually a really good feed for dry cows because it's very good balance between starch and protein. So I think it's actually it can be useful also in a conventional diet. And this is the milking ration. The cows are now eating 28 kilos of this. It's 4.2 kilos of a protein mix. It's basically soya and some actually wheat in there. I think Lantmännen is selling that one. 6 kilos of grain, and altogether there's 18 kilos of forage in there, pretty much. Forage, whole crop 5 kilos, first cut 8 kilos, forecut almost 4 kilos, and some straw. I have some greetings from the farm. They are sorry they couldn't be here because they had to build a cow shed. But they say that you are so welcome to come and visit if you have some possibilities to do that. I was actually thinking that if some of you guys might be interested to go in the J-O Brinkin in November, we can organize a trip beforehand that you can visit some farms, visit this farm and some more farms maybe. Before you go to the Brinkdagarna, you can maybe arrange something there if you're interested. And if there's no more questions, I just want to say thank you for having us, and I wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.